Hi.
Hello.
Are we good? No music? Just us talking?
We're here. We did it. Oh my God.
We did it. Hi.
Hello, hello.
It's always really funny when we say hello and we've been in the studio. For
Yeah,
like
we've
2
been
hours.
queening for like an hour straight. And then we're just like, oh my God, good to meet you today.
Nice to see you. Okay, I'm Natasha. This is QuasiMatt.
True.
And this is Boys Club Live. We have a absolutely packed show today.
There's a lot going on. There's technology, there's culture, there's news.
There's us.
So true.
What else do you need? Okay, we have 3 guests. We have a new segment. We have a preview of Show Me Your Stack episode 2, clip farming.
And it's really good, I will say.
Is it not?
Yeah, I mean, the preview is good. You know what's even better? The episode.
Full episode.
Yeah.
And you can be the first to see it, besides all the people at Boys Club who have watched it many times, at our YouTube, which is Boys Club World. That's Boys Club World. Go subscribe.
Hit the bell.
Ring the bell, do everything you can on YouTube. I will say something that has been so satisfying about having this new, for those who don't know, Show Me Your Stack is a network show by Boys Club. It is essentially Into the Gloss, but for your technical stack. And if that means nothing to you, then you should just go watch it and then you can figure out what it is. You know,
right? Is Into the Gloss about makeup?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Great job.
To me, Into the Gloss is the makeup version of Show Me Your Stack.
That's exactly correct.
Yeah.
You're exactly right. And something that's been really nice about this show is I am not in it. So I feel so strongly. I can like just shill the shit out of it.
Oh yeah, totally.
It's so much easier to do. I'm like, subscribe, comment, like, all those things.
Right.
Because it's not my face.
Yeah. It doesn't
Huge.
seem, promoting yourself is so like, who does that? I would never.
I actually I literally just went to your Twitter for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah.
And I just saw your pinned tweet.
No, it kept up. So my pinned tweet is like a picture of me that's just like, I'm doxing. Wait, is this what you're talking about?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. It's just like, I'm doxing, like, here's me, because people kept like, after having talked to me like 10 times being like, oh, like you're QuasiMatt on the internet, and like they didn't like put it together. So I was like, I just need everyone to know, because it's really annoying. It's like, if I don't, I love when people have more context about me and I have more context about them. And if we're like, I love it. Like,
okay.
Yeah. So I want that to happen as quickly as possible. And I'll be annoyed if I feel like we missed out on some queening because they didn't know who I was.
Lack of context.
You're right.
Okay. So it genuinely made me laugh out loud. It's the craziest photo of you. You look like you're like in a mental hospital. Like I was just like, what is up with this?
Yeah. It's like a screenshot of like a video that I was making. Available right now.
Okay, wow. That's
Does it sound bad to you?
No, I can't hear it.
Yeah, maybe I should update it. I should like periodically update it.
That would be great.
Sounds fun to me.
Okay.
Okay. So this show is brought
I think
to
it
you
was
by
just
a
one of
bunch
those like
partners.
somehow.
Vercel, Polygon, to name a few. You're going to tell us a little bit about Polygon.
I am literally about to do that.
Okay, let's hear it.
Every company moving money globally hits the same walls. Legacy rails are slow, expensive, and built for a pre-internet world. Stablecoin rails are fast, but they're fragmented across vendors that don't talk to each other. The plumbing to deliver on the promise of stablecoins hasn't existed. Polygon's open money stack is fixing that. One unified stack that puts global money movement onto proven rails that move at the speed of the internet. And why Polygon? Because they've been moving money. Check out the link in the chat to learn more. We love Polygon.
We love Polygon. Great job.
Thank you.
What? No audio? Okay. Let's do it again. Let's run it back.
From the beginning? Oh.
Just the ad read? Great. You had a practice round.
Yeah.
Okay, wait. Are we back with audio? Oh, great.
We did it.
We love an audio.
One thing about us is we're going to recover. Okay. Ad read. Polygon. Okay,
Polygon.
we're about to tell you a little something about Polygon.
Let's go. And action.
Every company moving money globally hits the same walls. Legacy rails are slow, expensive, and built for a pre-internet world. Stablecoin rails are fast, but they're fragmented across vendors that don't talk to each other. The plumbing to deliver on the promise of stablecoins hasn't existed. Polygon's open money stack is fixing that. One unified stack that puts global money movement onto proven rails that move at the speed of the internet. And why Polygon? Because they've been moving money. Check out the link in chat to learn more. We love Polygon.
Great job.
Wait, that's so streamer core of us to say in chat.
In chat.
It's more natural for me to say in the chat.
In the chat. That I think is kind of millennial.
We're embracing the culture.
We're embracing Gen Z. Okay, we have some stories that we're going to dig into before our first guest. Ruben Stekel is coming. He's the founder, CEO of AirTM. But before we do that, we have a range of topics here.
We're really running the gamut.
We're running the gamut. What do we want to start with? Do you want to go first or do you want me to go first?
I want you to go first.
You want me to go first?
Yeah, I want to be educated.
You want to be educated?
Yeah.
Okay. We are going to then quickly talk about Thinking Machine's release. So Thinking Machine is Mira Murati's AI company. She is the CEO of Thinking Machine. She was previously the CTO of OpenAI. She is dream girl in every way. Like, I can't with this woman. I mean, I can't in a way where I'm just like, I'm obsessed. Fully.
Right. Yeah.
Full stop.
You
Period.
can't comprehend how obsessed and I was gonna say jealous. That was me like reading. That was me reading.
Honestly,
like way too much into it.
Kind of jealous, but also like, wow, pressure's on. She raised $2 billion at a $12 billion valuation. They have not released anything yet. Icon. Obsessed. I don't know.
The dream.
Like, I want to be like, I could do that. I could girl boss that hard. I could girl boss that close to the sun. But like, honestly, the older I get, the more unsure I could, you know? Like, you would think the more naive you are, the more you're like, yeah, I could do that. The older you get,
I feel like there's two paths. There's like the like extreme delusion path.
Yes.
Which is like the one that I think we have been thinking about. But now the new path once you're older with more under your belt is like the clout like path, the track record path.
Exactly.
Which is like sort of clearly what she's up to as an ex OpenAI.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also like fully gigabrain. Like CTO at OpenAI. Couldn't be me, that's for sure. Okay, so they had this release this week. I am wondering, Kate, if we can play the video. So there's a video. It's 2 minutes. We're showing, not telling, and then we're going to tell. So The showing is happening momentarily.
Hey, I need your help with something today. You ready?
Absolutely, I'm ready. What's up?
Yeah, so we're giving an announcement today, and I've got two of my friends coming to help. Every time one of them enters the frame, I need you to say, friend.
Got it. I'll say friend whenever one of them walks in.
Cool. So we've got a new system for full duplex audio and video, which means that you can stream input into it in real time, and it can respond to you even while you're speaking to it simultaneously. How does that sound?
Sounds like a solid setup. Full duplex with real-time interaction is super useful. Friend.
Hey Ruben, I heard you're talking about our amazing interaction model. I have a few things to add, but to make it interesting, I'll do it in Hindi. Can you translate in English in real time for my friend and for audience?
Absolutely, I'll translate as you go.
आज हम हमारे preview model को की झलक
Today we're
release
taking
कर
a look
रहे
at our
हैं,
preview
जो
model.
human और AI के बीच की बातचीत आसान बनाता है. इसके
To
कई
release
feature
it,
हैं, जैसे
which
ये
makes
search कर
conversation
सकता
between
है और
humans and
artifacts
AI
बना
easier.
सकता है.
It has many features like web search and artifacts. Friend.
Hey guys. I just heard something really cool about search and artifact generation. Perfect timing for me because just now I was wondering what are typical humans' simple reaction time for auditory, visual, and tactile communication cues. Could you search for me?
Let me find those typical reaction times for you. Got
Thank
it.
you.
So tactile is fastest at around 150 milliseconds, then auditory at 140 to 170, and visual is the slowest at 180 to 250.
Oh, interesting. Can you visualize them in a bar chart for me?
Absolutely. Let me generate a quick bar chart for those reaction times.
In the meantime, could you quickly explain to me why is auditory even faster than visual? That's a little bit unexpected.
Sure thing. Auditory is faster because sound signals travel a shorter, more direct neural path to the brain than visual info does.
Makes sense. Thank you so much. Great chart, by the way.
You're welcome.
Okay. So that's the video. So I have a few things to say about what is unique about this model. There's a lot of other videos. You can go to the thread if you're so interested, Thinking Machine at Thinking Machine. It's giving this, it's just for the listener, the meme of the three boys on YouTube, like chatting.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
It's really is. Like, I think they might even be wearing the same colored shirts, honestly. But okay. I'm going to talk about what's differentiated from this model, and then we will have to touch on some of the text messages that were revealed last week.
Of course. I saw lots of fake ones and some which I assume were real. So you'll have to help me through figuring out what was real.
Fact check that.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So basically, what is differentiated in this model versus other like competitive models for Thinking Machine is that the main thing is that it's like interaction models. So solving sort of for like voice AI, which I feel like is pretty universally accepted, is not in a place that feels conversationally human.
Totally.
Like you say something, then it says something back.
Yeah, thanks for a while. Yeah, it says something back.
It says something like, wow, great point, and then moves in.
Right.
This is like, and is demonstrated in the live translation. It is essentially it can think and talk at the same time. And so that feels much more human and much more of a conversational flow with the model than other models. So that's the main thing that they concentrated on. And they're calling it's a full duplex system, meaning that it's targeting a 0.4 second response time and using like a micro turn processing, which again is very different from other models. And then the other thing that they showed in this video that I feel like the write-ups around this model didn't really get into that much, but is visual cues. So like in the video, you saw someone comes in and sits down and it acknowledges that it's seeing this person come in and sit down.
Right.
So that's what's up. Thinking Machine is betting that the next frontier of AI has overlapping speech and shifting context and is handling like physical interactions as well. Thoughts?
So I feel like my main pain point with all AI stuff is anything like visual or spatial, like images, video, it's just like not caught up. So I'm glad that someone is like dedicated to this. I also feel like the being recognized when you come on camera is like, we need that for this.
Yeah, totally.
Like Kate's job can be easier because then things can just happen automatically based on like what we're doing.
Yeah.
I also like, this is more infrastructural, but I know artists who are like using, they're like farther up the stack, I guess.
Okay.
But they're also doing things where it's like things are paying attention. The AI is paying attention to your conversation and it's giving you like the mood of the conversation, or it's giving you some sort of sentimental information about what's going on.
Yeah.
And then like participating in the conversation in much, I guess, less intrusive ways.
Yeah.
But their goal is always to reduce latency too. Like, like the fast response is like, I feel like really important. But it's also funny because that's like, I don't know that I want my AI at all times to seem like a human. Like that's not really necessarily like a priority for me, but I like the video and visual stuff for sure.
Okay, but I also think that you are someone who likes interacting with a computer. Oh, like that's part of the bit.
Obsessed.
For you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, you mean like as opposed to like, I like that it's a computer instead of a human.
Yeah. Like you're like, this is kind of fun. This is a part of it for me. Is that true?
Yeah. I would say that's true. Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of other people who are absolutely freaked out by that.
Yeah.
And will need that to feel completely obfuscated in order to engage with it daily in like a consistent way.
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
Yeah, I think like insofar as I have fears about AI, they're like sort of related to that. Like blurring the line between human interaction and computer interaction.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like bring it on. But if I had to be scared of something, then it would be that.
That would be the one you choose. I am rooting for her. I'm rooting for her. She's feels like a close personal friend to me for no other reason.
I feel like she is. If not now, then
soon.
A week from now, a month from now. Yeah.
Exactly. Okay. That's what she's up to. I am just going to check to make sure that this person hasn't texted me who's coming to this live stream. Okay. The other thing that I want to say is not to center a man in the conversation, but that is what I'll do briefly, is for those who do not know, Elon Musk brought a civil suit against Sam Altman and OpenAI. that is currently in trial in San Francisco or in Silicon Valley somewhere. And it is provided so much fodder for the timeline. And some of that is around when Sam Altman was removed by the board from being the CEO of OpenAI.
Right. I actually thought it was all that. I didn't even know that there was other context.
Oh, really? Wow.
That's
okay.
the only thing I'm seeing. Yeah, is about that.
Basically, Elon Musk is saying Sam Altman like stole OpenAI as that it was a nonprofit, and Elon Musk put all this money into it under that reality. And then basically Sam Altman was like, actually, never mind. And so Elon is trying to get him removed as the CEO and have basically OpenAI converted back into a nonprofit.
Right.
So that's sort of like what this civil case is about. And in all that, there's all this evidence being brought up around sort of like the character of Sam Altman and like basically how duplicitous he was in like his ambitions around what OpenAI would be. So one of the main stories is obviously when he was removed and the board decided that he was untrustworthy. Anyway, part of that is like these texts between him and Mira Murati, who was the CTO at the time, who was in the board meeting. And he's like asking her, how's it going? Like, what are they thinking? And then he kind of panic texting her and then being like, how bad is it? Like directionally. And she responds, very bad. And he's like, okay. And like, there's all these iconic, basically like text messages between him and her and him and a bunch of other people, and really hit the timeline like a ton of bricks last week.
Yeah.
You saw all of that.
Well, my thing is like, I think I only saw the fake ones. Like I only saw ones where like it's Sam Altman being like, good to meet you on Fire Island. Like, I don't know, some like joke about him being gay. Like I didn't see like any of the actual real stuff. So that's why I like didn't even know what it was about.
Well, what the format of these text messages, it's actually really hard to decipher what is real and fake because the format is so perfect for memeing.
Yeah. It's like the easiest. You can replicate it so easily.
Yes.
Yeah. But was the idea that like whose side was she on? Like, was she trying to be like actually giving him good information so that he could navigate it better? It seems like he had no control in the situation anyway, so he was just kind of crashing out.
He was kind of crashing out. I think that he, it wasn't she replaced him as CEO, but for like a day or something. For like a day, and I do not think she wanted that like at all. Okay, and I think that she is perfect. I don't know. There's gonna be stuff that comes out about this woman, and I'm going so hard in the paint on her. But I do think that she was trying to like play the middle, and I think that they knew that she was in. I think it was like, you are going to be communicating with Sam. Like, I don't think that she was like secretly texting him on the side,
right? Because
I think he was like, "Can I come in and plead?" At one point, I think he asked, "Can I come in and like plead my case?" And she was like, "They don't want you here." And so like she must have been. It must have been an open thing that she was communicating with him.
It wasn't. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. We have 5 minutes until the next guest is supposed to be here and come on. And I feel like you should maybe give me some context on all I see here is Jake Shane, Kacey Musgraves, which say more.
Well, the best thing we could ever do is roll the clip. Do we have the clip? Okay. Yeah. Let's do that. Let's give everyone context.
Can I ask you what your favorite song or maybe like a favorite lyric that you've ever written is?
Why are you doing this to me?
I have to.
That's a toxic question.
I know, but I have to. Something you're most proud of.
Oh man, I relate to all of them for so many different reasons. I mean, like, I don't know why Hookup Scene just came to mind. I like really, really love that song so much. I think ultimately maybe Slow Burn. I think it feels the best. I feel like I'm at home in my dead center whenever I'm playing that song, always.
My favorite line from that song, obviously, is sun's going down, but in Beijing, they're headed out to work. What do you mean by that? Me and Manny, who I work with, debate it every single day.
Really?
Yeah.
It's not like a deep coded thing.
I know.
So this one isn't.
So what does that mean to you?
It literally just means what it means. It just means they're going to work. And I'm over here, like the sun's going down in Tennessee, and like over there across the world, people are like, it's a different day and they're like going to work and starting their next day. And like, I'm over here and It was very like stream of conscious. Like I wasn't putting a lot of thought into like it just was. It just like kind of came out. You know what I mean? Because I was just picturing. I was sitting on my porch in Tennessee and picturing these people around the world like doing their thing over there. You know, it's like the world just keeps turning and yeah.
And you're all right with the slow burn.
And I am all right with a slow burn.
And oh God, I love that song. That's how that album. Everything you do is just brilliant.
Thank you.
Wow,
We're
thank
back.
you, Jake Shane, for that amazing line of questioning for Kacey Musgraves.
Okay, I've not seen this clip. I'm sorry. Can you buzz again?
We're doing a bit of logistics
We're
at the
doing some
moment.
logistical. Okay, maybe actually, do you just want to take this and coordinate? Okay. Can you explain what's going on?
Yes. So the vibe is Kacey Musgraves. She releases she releases a single. She releases an album.
Yes.
And so she does a press tour, as one does.
Only as God intended.
On her press tour, she visits the beloved podcaster Jake Shane.
Yes.
Jake Shane, didn't see the interview, so I don't really know what the context of the whole interview is, but the most iconic question is he asks for the meaning of the following lyric, which is from a Kacey Musgraves song.
Okay.
In Tennessee, the sun's going down, but in Beijing, they're heading out to work. So the idea is like he wants to know what this lyric means. Do you have any guesses maybe of what this lyric could mean?
Just
What's
that
your
there's
interpretation?
a different time zone, potentially.
Yeah. Okay. We're low-key like recreating the interview because that is exactly what Kacey Musgraves said. And so the discourse online was like, basically, oh, why did he ask that question? That's such a bad question. Like, of course, it's very straightforward and obvious what that means.
Right.
And people were getting really mad about it. And I think like he catches a lot of flack because his interview style is like very, like he's really just having like a normal conversation. Like that's my impression of his interview style.
Yeah.
It's like, I think people maybe get the impression that he's unprepared or something like that. I think it's amazing.
Totally.
And I'm like, the job of the artist is to make meaning from nothing.
Right.
And like Jake Shane literally asking like someone to interpret a very literal statement is like inviting Kacey to add
deeper.
layers and layers of meaning to something that might not, have a lot of meaning at face value. And so in a way, like podcastliness is close to godliness because he is like the person that is truly creating value.
Yeah. Yeah.
Totally. And people are mad because they want him to start with something and they're jealous because he started with nothing and he made something interesting and we're talking about it and people online are talking about it. And he didn't even write the damn song. Like he asked a question.
Okay. I feel pretty. Hi, how's it going? Okay. I have a few things to say here. And I just have to acknowledge that we are going to be changing gears into stablecoins in mere moments. But I just have to say, Kacey Musgraves, it's her fault that this went the way that it went.
Wait, why?
Because exactly as you're saying, like she wrote the lyric, which is totally, I like Kacey
I see
Musgraves,
what you're saying. Yeah.
But like, it's totally fine. Like it's a thought that became a song.
Right.
And then Jake is trying to, exactly as you're saying, give her an opportunity. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
to just like unpack, like go deeper. And she couldn't. And that's okay. But like, it's not on him, it's on her.
Yeah. Okay. So, well, I'm going to push back on that because I think that it's totally fine for him to ask the question. I think it's also kind of fine for her to not go deeper into the meaning if it doesn't mean more to her. I think if he's going to bring it up and she's not bringing any more information, then he should have some sort of theory or like further commentary on it. Like, I think if you're going to bring it up, you need to have some substance.
Yes.
And so I would say maybe that was where he could have taken that. Yeah. But I'm also kind of like, it was really interesting because it was a nothing burger. Like that was
then it
like,
went viral. So
yeah.
I actually think that is his magic, is like
totally
mass appeal. Like,
yeah. Well, I think it's that you can see yourself. Like if I interviewed Kacey Musgraves, like I would low-key ask that. Like it feels aspirational. It makes anything feel possible.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. Okay. I feel like we can revisit this again after the interview. But I think we should switch.
Let's do a swap.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's speak about something more serious.
Stage. Ruben, come on down. You're gonna be sitting where he's at. I'm just gonna pull up. How's it going? It's good to see you. Good to see you. Okay, let me pull up your bio here. You've got a really impressive situation that you've been building for many years.
Well, thank you.
Like, how long have you been CEO of AirTM?
For 12 years.
Wow, crazy. Okay.
I know.
So, Ruben Stekel, co-founder and CEO of AirTM. AirTM is a digital wallet for emerging markets, 500 payment methods across 190 countries. Last year, you guys processed $1 billion in transactions. Is that correct?
A bit more.
A bit more. Oh, flex. Okay, cool. Mostly cross-border payments to digital workers that work for companies like YouTube and Twitch, Scale AI, Fiverr, among a few. And we're going to talk about the state of stablecoins, the last mile problem, and your plans for sort of the rest of the financial services stack. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me. Super exciting.
It's super exciting. I met you in Rio at the Stellar Meridian conference.
Yeah.
And that was like my first exposure to AirTM. And then I was like, oh, wow, they're doing a lot. You guys are up to stuff.
Yeah. It's a very long, it's been a long time.
I mean, 12 years in crypto is a lifetime, basically.
It's a lifetime in any industry. I think.
True. Okay. So I want to start with stablecoins. So for some people, stablecoins has sort of been this like inevitability. And I think that with everything that's happening in the US and some of like the regulatory changes over the last few years, or really the last year, it's becoming like mainstream in and around sort of companies here based in the US. But I think that you guys have been doing this for a long time and have like a lot more context on sort of, how people have been using stablecoins beyond just after the Genius Act. So I'm curious, like, in your vantage point right now, if you were to think about 10 years from now, what do you think the percentage of global cross-border payments will be in stablecoins?
100%.
100%? That's a crazy number. That's crazy.
It's an inevitability, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
You really don't think that you think we're on a path that will just continue going down?
100%.
Okay.
There's no other way. I think that, just stablecoin payments are a lot more efficient. They're faster. They're cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
And it also seems like it's going to be a self-fulfilling prophecy. Like everyone is so bullish on them that we're all going to make it happen together.
Okay.
Even if that's the aspiration or if that's not. I don't think anyone's like saying, in 10 years, 100% of payments are going to be flowing on stablecoins. But with like MasterCard going in so heavy and Stripe growing so fast by themselves and going in so heavy, everyone's just looking to see how they can get a little piece of the action. I think that's what's going to make it happen. Okay.
And so my understanding of what you guys do and how people are using your product is I'm like a creator in Mexico City and I'm getting paid out from YouTube. What happens? They're using you. What part of the process is on chain? What part of the process is still on legacy rails? Like, how does that sort of all come together?
It's very funny. I was coming into this and I started hearing this discussion on pop culture. And I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to talk about?
I know. I was like,
and now you're like, ooh, let's go into stable coins.
The show has range.
There's so much range. I like that. Wait, what was your question?
I basically the intersection of culture and technology. I'm a YouTube creator in Mexico City. I'm getting paid out from YouTube.
Yeah, got it.
What is happening with you guys versus legacy rails? What's on chain? What's not?
So right now, a lot of people who live in very far away countries are used to getting paid on PayPal or another wallet. And all these other wallets or PayPal, they're not focused on like their long tail market, They're like focused on their biggest markets that represent like 80% of the volume. And then they do as good a job as they need to do for the rest of the world. And that just means that a whole bunch of people, in this case, you asked about the YouTube creator that work online, they're getting like a fast service, which is not great because that means they take a while to withdraw the money they earn, probably not getting the best exchange rate. they're probably not getting access to the local payment method that they need to use to pay whatever they need to pay. And so by focusing on this last mile, the long tail of customers, we aim to give them, like first-class financial services. And you're talking specifically about one use case, which is the online worker. And we really, really think that there's such a worthy, people, the online worker. We call them digital entrepreneurs, and we do focus a ton on them. But we also service people that, need to save, invest, send a remittance, buy something online. Because, receiving an online payment from YouTube is one use case, but there's so many issues with money around the world. And so we just want to solve all of them,
Yeah. Okay. So $1 billion, I mean, clearly with $1 billion.
It's like $3 billion in like on-chain payments.
3 billion last year?
Yeah.
Alone?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Okay. 3 times the amount that I had seen online. Clearly that's not just a digital worker. That's remittances. It's all these other categories that you're talking about. And I'm curious, are they experiencing your product as a crypto product, or are they just seeing this as this is the way I move money around?
It's just the way they move money around.
Okay. And I think there's a lot of conversation around, specifically around stablecoins, that I think most people think of as USDC or USDT or something like that. But there's all these local stablecoins as well. So the Mexican peso or the Colombian peso. And can you just give me a ELL5 101 on local stablecoins and why and how those exist and how they relate to the USDC or something like that?
For sure. So I think right now what we see is that the US dollar, or the stablecoin version of the US dollar, has become the main way to originate payments.
Okay.
People in enterprises, small and medium businesses, they're saying, hey, let's use this to originate payments rather than originating a wire transfer with fiat. Let's just send stablecoins.
Okay.
And that's why you have Bridge and BVNK and Zero Hash growing a ton. They're pushing this migration. And that's great. You can all of a sudden send $1 email and it lands halfway across the world. And someone could receive it as $1. And that's awesome. It's awesome also because it's portable. You could take it from wallet A to wallet B, wallet C. It's your money. It's like virtual cash. There's one problem though with that, which is that dollar still needs to get converted into whichever currency you need to use to spend your money. And there's, 190 currencies in the world, or 200, as many as countries. Some countries are dollarized, or they use another country's currency, so it's less than 202 or whatever. But anytime you need to do this conversion, it's expensive.
Yeah.
It was expensive for PayPal to do it. It's expensive for you as a retail customer to figure it out with your own stablecoin, whether that's a USDT or USDC or some other global stablecoin. And so I think that the next paradigm is accepting that dollars are a great way to send a payment, but they're not a great way to finalize a payment. Where if you need to pay someone in your country, in pesos, in bolivars, in kwanza, whatever, you want to use that money. And at the same time, we can't unsee the benefits of changing some random token on chain for another random token on chain, and how quick and easy that is. Money should be no different. And that's why we believe, I think as an industry, that local stablecoins need to be created.
Yeah.
So that the exchange of that global stablecoin to that local stablecoin can happen on chain.
Okay.
And therefore, then consumer could have, a cheaper end-to-end remittance. And then I think that the next frontier of that is when local stablecoins could be used to buy something, in the
world,
but in your local country. So you don't have to go from stablecoins to fiat.
Okay.
You can just stay in stablecoins.
Yeah.
And clearly, not even in the US are we there.
Yeah, totally.
And the US is, I wouldn't say it's the home, because I think most dollar stable coins live outside of the US. But it's definitely the place where, stable coins have been, they have most institutional adoption.
Yeah.
And people here, they're not paying with stable coins. It's more like Coinbase is bridging the USDC to fiat transfer. But ultimately, you're delivering a dollar, fiat dollar. You're not delivering a stable coin or USDC. And so I think we have a long way to go. However, adoption is growing tremendously. And so I think, yes, in 10 years, we'll be in a world where
that's all we'll be doing.
Stable coins are originated and stable coins are delivered. Okay.
So really quick, basically like it operates the same way where a USDC stablecoin is pegged to the US dollar. It's the same for a Mexican peso. It's pegged to the local currency.
Or some local bonds.
Okay.
Or something.
Okay. And
we're not pegged to, but backed by.
Okay.
Pegged to the value of.
Okay. And part of the reason why you have this conviction that by 2030 we'll all be just operating.
By 2030, no.
No. Okay.
Give me 10 years.
Eventually.
Give me the full 10 years.
Okay.
We're in 2026.
Right. Oh my gosh. Right. Okay. So if that's the case, part of your conviction is coming from the institutional adoption. Like all of these companies have been making announcements around like Stripe, Visa, Robinhood. Everybody's talking about stablecoins. Those are just to name a few. Do you see those incumbents as a threat to you, as tailwinds, a little bit of both?
So look, I wouldn't describe AirTM as a neobank, a stablecoin neobank, even though we offer everything from loans to debit, eventually credit cards, DeFi yield. We offer a lot of the things that I guess Revolut, who's a neobank, would offer. But I more so see AirTM as the global stablecoin wallet.
Okay.
And that's because I'm very intentional with the outcome I think I see for AirTM, given the belief that I have for stablecoins in the world of payments, which is that eventually all payments will be originated in stablecoins and will therefore need to land in stablecoins.
Okay.
And I want AirTM to be that destination wallet for that stablecoin payment everywhere in the world.
Okay.
Because I do think you could draw a parallel with the world of email today and how the industry looks like, where you have a few providers, and we're not going to switch. I feel like in the future, you're going to be settled with your stablecoin wallet and you're not going to switch.
Okay.
And I want AirTM to be one of those.
Okay.
Like the Gmail of stablecoins.
Okay. And
so I think in this long-winded answer to your question, but this is a major tailwind that institutions are adopting the origination of stablecoins, because that just means that there's going to be more flows that are native to our way of receiving them.
Yeah.
And so I'm very excited to partner with Bridge, Zero Hash, BVNK, or any other to land their stablecoin payments, because they're very strong here in the US and we're super strong in the global
globally.
South.
Yeah. So when you say that AirTM will be the stablecoin wallet, and your vision of the future, is it like I'm Apple paying and it's AirTM and it's a USDC stablecoin when I'm buying my coffee?
No.
Okay.
I think the US market is won by so many other super big companies.
Okay.
That are amazing. We have no claim for this market. I think we more so want to be the home for the virtual assets of the people that have a need to transact globally.
Yeah.
Wherever they live.
Okay.
And I want to give them that experience that you have as an American and you use, I don't know, Cash App and Square and I guess Venmo. I guess there's a
You're
stack,
check
right?
your privilege.
I want that same experience to be available for people and businesses and big and small businesses and enterprises wherever they are. And we want to just continue making them the center of our attention.
Yeah. Cool.
And treating them, as first-class citizens.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. You guys last week announced Tala. Can you tell us a little bit about what that product is?
Yeah, that's actually a super exciting product. So first, Tala is this, I don't know if you could say a microloan provider, or they figured out a way to underwrite the risk of giving someone a loan without having any access to a very sophisticated, credit bureau or credit score.
Okay.
In very random countries, or not random to us, but where there's not a lot of infrastructure, or there wasn't when they begun.
Okay.
And they said, hey, we need to figure out a way to loan money to someone in a country without all this information.
Okay.
A lot of underbanked people, or unbanked, period. And they're now saying, hey, we're very good at finding this money, at assessing the risk of people. We don't necessarily need to originate this loan. Like where if AirTM is up for giving us access to some information, we can probably give a loan through AirTM to an end consumer.
Okay.
And so we're super excited to bring this to our market, because in our market, I think we're stuck at collateralized loans, right? Like you have to back any loan with some asset, and it's amazing. And you could, get a very low rate on your Bitcoin.
Yeah.
By going to some DeFi place or whatever. But most people don't have money to collateralize their loan, right? That they have a liquidity crunch. They need money right now, and that's why they need a loan.
Yeah.
And so there's like huge overlap in between the issues that our customers face and the solution that Tala provides. And so we're super excited to work with them. Plus, Shivani Saroya, Tala CEO, she's such an inspiration for me. She's like straight up good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow, I love that. And when these are loans across the board, they're not just mortgages, right? They're a loan for a variety of, I don't know.
For whatever you need it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And basically how it's working is that, like, are you guys providing you guys aren't providing the collateral for it. You're basically saying, like, giving some context for who the person is that is requesting the loan, and then partnering with them so that they can provide the loan to that person. Is that kind of
exactly.
Okay.
So in a way, we're a platform for Tala.
Okay.
To access customers.
Nice. Okay, cool.
And we are not going to present Tala to the customer.
Yeah.
It's going to be AirTM's loan.
Yep.
But effectively, it's Tala doing it all in the background.
Nice. That's awesome. Okay. So we're running up on time, but I would love to hear from you. Like, what's the most broken part of the global payment system right now that most people don't talk about?
I think the global payment system has been under a microscope for such a long time, because there's been so many entrepreneurs trying to solve it.
Yeah.
And we've created, therefore, like 17 layer 1 blockchains aimed at payments. And so I don't know that any one part of the system is not examined. I think it's more so like there's a lot of people that are very far away, and they don't have access to a lot of the things that we take for granted here in the US. And I think we just need to keep going until they have access to, seamlessly receiving a payment, or sending a payment, or saving, or investing, or getting a loan.
Yeah.
And I frankly feel like we're in the best time for the industry, because there's so much infrastructure that's coming online that we could use, and others, to give better services and more connectivity to the global economy, to our customers on the ground. And there's so many issues we have to solve around liquidity, around tokenizing assets locally, around education, around distribution, which is probably the biggest challenge. But one step at a time, we'll get there in 10 years, 100% of payments.
Okay. You heard it here first. Thank you so much for coming on. I think what you guys are doing is truly, like, so admirable and useful. And I think there's a lot in this industry that feels, I don't know, sort of like, what? Like, that's a problem. And I don't feel that way at all about what you guys are doing.
Thank you.
And it's really nice to see like the connection to real people and their daily lives. And honestly, one of the things that got me into crypto is this idea that more access for more people around the world to their own money. So thank you for coming on. So nice I'm so glad I met you in Rio months ago, and can't wait to see what happens.
You were carrying like 3 martinis. I
Okay,
remember.
we don't have to get into that. Okay, on that note, see you later.
See you later, Natasha. Thanks for having me.
Okay, Quasi, come back. Bye, see you later. Okay, we are gonna for 10 minutes about a conspiracy theory that you have.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Okay. Okay, let's see. Okay. Do we want to get into your conspiracy theory?
What are other options?
Okay. Corporate people are going religious.
I think I don't really have that much to say on that. I'd rather just do the conspiracy, maybe.
Okay. So, I just have to say, for the record, this is not news. Just like PSA.
Well, it's sort of news about what's going on in my head right now, I would say.
Exactly.
Yeah, which
Okay.
is like, I don't know, to say that that's not news is a little bit like offensive to me, but yeah.
Okay. Just like some people watch the show for information, you know? And
Okay,
this
yeah.
is a particular type of information, which
This
is
is information that's sort of personal to me. I
from
would
your
say.
heart.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So give it to us. What's going on?
Okay. So people were discussing this tweet from 2022 where someone identified that after the coronavirus pandemic, there would be a hantavirus pandemic, which is now, on the precipice of perhaps occurring. Who can say?
Okay. I feel
free.
I'm just going to put my hand up when misinformation is.
Oh yeah. Okay. So I guess to be clear, my exposure to hantavirus is through like, I don't know, a few tweets, some AI generated videos and things like that. I don't really know anything about, how contagious it is, how deadly it is, how it occurred. Other than that, I know that some old people were bird watching in a dump basically. And then now the world's like over, I guess is my read.
My co-host here doesn't read my newsletter because on Friday I wrote an entire newsletter debunking the virus spreading globally, but that's okay.
Okay, well, I will
note
say,
for later.
Like, let's like hypothetically, I'm interested in the truth. Let's just imagine.
Imagined.
I don't think I would read the Boys Club newsletter, but like, I'm sorry. I'm just gonna say it. Like, I probably would watch like.
Fine.
I don't know what I would do. I've never thought about where I would find the truth before.
Okay.
I'm so unconcerned. Okay.
Continue.
Anyway, okay. So 2002 is when this theory was first surfaced by a random account. What else happened in 2022? The release of Chat GPT.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So the theory is a lot of people are scared of AI.
Yep.
Due to the popularity of ChatGPT and among other models and consumer products, I think that hantavirus was planted by Sam Altman. And that's probably his Twitter account. And it was planted by him in order to distract people because society needs something to be scared of, right?
Okay.
So it's like, okay, everyone's scared of AI. Well, I don't make money if people are scared of AI. I make money if people embrace AI. So I'm gonna give them something else to be scared about. And so Sam Altman like architected the spread of this hantavirus.
Okay. Wow. I have some things to say. One, not true. Two, I love it. I love it as an idea. I think people should be thinking as critically about
Thank you.
the world as you are.
Right.
Yes.
Like no one wants to connect the dots.
No
it
one,
seems. Like
except
everyone's
for
just
you.
kind of like reading the Boys Club newsletter and being like, oh yeah, sure, this is true.
Okay, that's fair. I will say, I do believe. Oh, okay. I do believe that there's a world where something like this could happen.
And we're living in it. I agree.
And we are not. Okay. Just so people know, the hantavirus did begin in a dump in Argentina. Okay. A bird not a dump.
A landfill, I think it was.
No, it was like a bunch of Canadians, I believe, went bird watching somewhere in Argentina.
Okay.
In a town, I can't remember. But they went there. One of them got exposed to rat droppings, inhaled it. How? Great question. Like, I'm just like,
yeah, how close do you have to be?
what do you have to do for that to anyway, whatever, disgusting. I'm just like, people need to wash their hands more is the lesson here.
Yeah. I
And
want to
then-
know what type of rare bird they were pursuing, like what bird can be found only in that dump.
You can find that out.
Okay, yeah,
So,
I'll research after.
Yeah, you can ask Sam Altman. You can ask ChatGPT.
Okay, yeah.
And then they got on a cruise. They all went on a cruise together.
Yeah.
And one of them was infected. And then essentially from that one infection, it's like 9 people actually got it so far.
Okay, so it seems highly contagious.
Okay. No. No. You know why I feel so strongly about this is because I am not quarantining again. I am not. I mean, if it harms other people, I care about other people, all that, whatever. I will say all the
Whatever
things
you
that,
have to say.
Okay. I know I don't want to be Vanessa Hudgens, but like I can't do it again. I can't do it again.
Yeah, totally fair.
I'm a social person, you know?
Right.
I'm not an introvert.
Yeah, you
That
got to be
is-
outside.
I got to be out there.
Mhm.
I got to be on the streets. I got to be seeing people. And so I just need people to know that there are 9 confirmed cases, okay? On the cruise, 3 people did die, okay? But one of them, it's only confirmed that they died from the virus. The other 2, unconfirmed. Those people could just be old.
They just died on a
Ill.
cruise. Yeah, okay. They could be.
Options, I don't know.
Right.
Anyway, there is information about how the virus spreads in the Boys Club newsletter. Please put up the 2 online. Okay, you can subscribe and you can read. I'm going to leave you guys on a cliffhanger. I did a play-by-play, and maybe the conspiracy theory that I lay out is yours. Maybe what I laid out is the best, most accurate information that currently exists about what happened as of Friday of last week. So that's another thing.
Okay, yeah. I'll read it and catch up and make sure I know
Okay.
what's going on. One thing I did just think of is like, okay, so say this is a real threat.
Mhm.
One thing we could do is like be concerned about it and like quarantine. Another thing we could do is be concerned about it and kill all the rats. Like
Thank you.
finally we have like a real like actual reason, like let's get the mayor to kill the rats and the mice and stuff like that. And then we
Yes.
won't have to worry about, well, actually that doesn't make sense because if humans have it, then they'll give it to each other. But
Okay, well, we don't need to.
we
can
won't
focus on
acknowledge
it.
that. Narratively,
later.
kill the rats and it's good. Yeah.
Okay. Eric Adams and I, this is one thing that we saw eye to eye on. He
Mm.
was really anti-rat. And I was like, I would maybe run it back just if he could solve that problem, which is a crazy thing to say, but something I would have potentially done. That was my main platform.
You're a one issue voter.
I'm a single issue voter in New
killing
York
all the
City, and it's the rats. Yes.
Okay, yeah. That makes sense.
Okay. Crazy transition here. We're going to bring up our next guest. Prince, come on down. Super excited to talk with you. Hi. So nice
Hello,
to meet
hello.
you. How's it going? Come on in. I'm Natasha. Nice to meet you.
Matt.
Okay. So Prince you're doing some really cool stuff. I'm just going to pull up your bio here. Okay. You are leading growth and forward deployed creative at Luma. Luma is an AI company focused on creative media generation. You are creative yourself, have a bunch of creative projects out in the world, music, a documentary. You have a community called Mission Athletic Club that's for civic wellness, which is very cool. Welcome to the show.
Yes, thanks for having me.
And you're based in SF, right?
Yes,
Okay.
The mission.
The mission. Okay, fun. Okay, there's a lot that I want to get into, but first, what is creative media generation?
Creative media generation. It's magic.
Okay, cool. Okay.
It's magic. You know,
Okay.
you type something out, it produces a piece of content,
Mhm.
whether it's image or video. You use an image reference or you use a video. It's essentially based on a bunch of training data. And then that's used to basically bring together, based off the reference material, what an image or a video would look like. Similar to ChatGPT or Claude, but just for image or video.
Okay.
And live stream.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Okay, cool. So the idea is that the inputs of the prompt can be images and video, lots of different images and video. And then the
Yes.
output is also image and video.
Yeah, it
Okay.
keeps developing over time. Initially, it was just text to image,
Mhm.
then it became image to image, then it became text to video, then image to video, and then video to video is like one of the new. They're calling it hybrid production.
Okay.
Okay.
And Luma, from what I've played around with the tool, and it's amazing. I think part of what is really I find compelling about it is that, yeah, I go in. Actually, we can like pull up a photo. I went in yesterday and I was like, woman in Brooklyn drinking a Diet Coke. And it's so realistic. Like I know that image generation has like come a long way since like, I don't know, a few years ago. And we do a lot of it at Boys Club. That's really fun. But I was like, oh, this is next level. And part of what is incredible about it is like, then you're sort of living inside of a tool. Like Luma is also sort of like Figma. Maybe you guys don't want me to say that, but it's
I mean,
Figma
that's an easy comparison. Yeah.
in like how you can like storyboard it and play around with it. And genuinely felt like, whoa, we're into something totally new here. And I'm curious about your role there. I think like your title, leading growth and forward deployed creative.
Yes,
break that down for us.
Yeah,
what does that
definitely.
mean?
So I started in the growth arena, which is growth has many meanings. It's like growing the user base at the core. It's also growing like the operations within the team. But generally it's like, everything tying to analytics and metrics. So that's kind of where I started in the org, mostly for enterprise. So we were a consumer company initially.
Okay.
I came on one of the first go-to-market enterprise people to figure out how do we, bring these tools to professional creatives in Hollywood for brands and for agencies.
Okay.
And so that's the growth side of it. And then while being in there, a way to grow and to basically get these professional creatives to use it is that, I'm sure you've heard about enablement and adoption.
Yeah.
Right. So you hand people the tools that generally don't know how to use it. And so this whole forward deployed creative thing came about where enterprise customers and professional creatives just need basically to be walked through it.
They need some hand holding.
Yeah, they need some hand holding.
Yeah.
And this stuff happened back in the day with Adobe Photoshop to VFX tools, and where it took a much longer time to adopt because there's a whole new system. And so, in today's world where everyone has their actual job to do, why would I try a new tool when I can do the job with the tool I have?
Yeah.
And, just like stuff is supposed to save us time, but we end up working more.
Totally.
But, so with limited time, enterprises and businesses just need support. And so we have a whole team of forward deployed creatives, which are, ex-creative directors, VFX artists. On our team, it's a wide range of creatives. We have Kit, who worked on SpongeBob and Rick and Morty.
Oh, we were just talking about SpongeBob. Okay. Wow.
Yeah, we love SpongeBob.
We do.
Alexia Donna, she was the creative director over at Foot Locker, and then worked in Edelman as their creative technology specialist.
Okay.
We have Sky Hans, who was like a brand creator at Amazon and also worked at a startup. So it's a range of people.
Cool. And what's like the most common mistake or feedback because I imagine there's a mix of people who are really excited about these tools and feel like an immense need for them and don't want to get left behind, want to be more efficient in their businesses, all of that. And then also, I'm sure, fear and pushback and a lack of understanding of how this amplifies the work as opposed to replaces it. And so, what are those conversations looking like with these enterprises and creative agencies? Like, what's the most common thing you're hearing?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, so there's a range of things. So I've always been in a new category. I was in like social media pretty early. Like
early days.
I literally went to Hollywood to be like, hey, y'all, we need to change the distribution game.
Get on Instagram.
Let's start tweeting.
Well, at the time, it was Twitter and Facebook, ironically.
Okay.
And then Instagram, of course, YouTube, all the things. I worked at a development company acquiring content, IP rights from YouTube holders.
Okay.
Because, it's like, hey, they have distribution. How do we reverse the order? Literally, studio heads were like, get out of my office.
Okay.
What are you doing? Managers were like, you're not going to take my rights.
Right.
Because it was a system that was built on distribution. And so, had those conversations then. I was in crypto previously.
Oh, nice.
Similar.
Cool.
A lot of,
wow, you've been on the cutting edge the whole time. Okay. So you're used to people being like, I'm scared of this, basically.
Yeah. I'm a living meme, So it's like the crypto to AI pipeline.
Yeah.
And then now in AI, same, so working in Hollywood, I obviously called a bunch of my friends up. I've been there for a little over a year. It's about a year ago, called them all up, directors, producers, writers. And I was like, hey guys, like, let's talk. Literally like, please don't talk to me about this.
Okay.
And it's just like, it was everyone. About 6 months ago, started like texting me back, being like, "Yo, Prince, like, can you actually talk about this?"
Yeah.
And in the past 3 months, it's been pretty crazy because I think the landscape has changed, right? Like, obviously, you look in the feed and you just see like a slop cannon.
Yeah.
And the algorithm is designed for this like, mania and intensity to be able to get reactions, but you don't see the good stuff. And for two reasons, right? I think it's the algorithm, but I think second, like there's just a lot less creators who have adopted. And then the good stuff just isn't getting seen because you just don't know it's AI.
Yeah.
And so that's the irony of it. Enterprises, like consistency is one of the main things. That's the huge question. Like, can you make this thing consistent?
Okay.
Obviously, when you have a brand involved, if you have a Hollywood studio, they want to make sure that there's like the amount of threads, the amount of rings on your pants. And so being able to keep that continuity and consistency across an entire set of images or videos, that's a key component. Obviously the IP and training is a huge factor, which, there's a bunch of different people who do it differently. At Luma, we definitely do license, commercially licensed property. So.
Is it fair to say that a lot of the initial pushback was based on the capabilities of the software rather than like the economic effects, like the fear that people would lose their jobs and stuff like that? Like,
I think it's all the above.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, I mean, there's real concern, right, as these things adopt. It is interesting. Like, the highest adoption has come from VFX people, actually.
Interesting.
They faced this first, right?
Yeah.
When Hollywood came out, everything from Jurassic Park to Avatar, really changed how like there were set designers who were, clay makers who were doing things, and then inevitably you created a lot more jobs. I don't necessarily think, and unsure what that's going to look like in this era, but I do think that there's going to be like a lot of new jobs. Like, I have this hunch that product designers and brand designers are actually going to be the most uniquely positioned, because they have this like creative vision, they know how to use these tools, and then now they can do video.
Okay.
So it's going to create like a lot of generalists to be able to use these tools. Even people who might not have that brand taste, they also can be able to use the tools to do things. Small businesses, medium businesses. So I think it's going to give a lot of people a lot of agency.
Okay. So will AI take creative jobs?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely not. Like,
okay.
There's a whole taste conversation. We had dinner grimes, and she was like obviously talking about taste the entire time. And so, it's just like I don't think we're there yet.
Yeah.
I don't think we're gonna be there for a while. At the end of the day, we like sure, some people will make stuff like that is gonna have like one or two people, but the best stuff is gonna need, especially on like a really good commercial or in a film, you're still gonna need the set designer to like literally like
physically make things happen.
I mean, it may be like less physical, but like they still need to be able to like identify like what is the furniture that's going to be on scene.
Right.
What are the clothes? What's the color tone?
Yeah.
You're gonna need production designers. You're gonna need stylists.
Like you still need vision.
Yeah. You still have to need a vision. I mean, like to be fair, there'll probably be like less gaffers and things like that. But I think there's going to be possibly a lot more content being able to be made and more opportunities for people to create things together. So,
I love an abundance mindset. We love to hear that. Are you thinking about slop, and how would you define slop?
Yeah, I mean, for sure. We see it all the time. We like to call it the slop cannon.
Okay, I love that term.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
great.
it's inevitable, right? I mean, this happened in the early days of like blogging, and it's inevitable. Like SEO came out, and just and there were people doing it. Now it's just machines. Obviously, it's at a much larger scale.
Yeah.
Hopefully, like these agents figure out how to like get rid of the slop. I guess how would I define it? It's trash.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. If you look at it and think trash, then it's slop. Is that okay.
I guess, right?
Is there any slop that you have
It's
seen?
probably worse than trash. Because slop is just like, it's gross.
It's like it's actually a worse thing.
Yeah.
A new
it's
worse
worse.
thing.
It's a lower low. It's like the lowest.
Is there any slop that you've seen that whether you wanted to or not, like watched and we're kind of like locked in on. That also it's a way to raise a lot of money and have a campaign, a political campaign. You can raise money and then that can affect your lifestyle.
Okay.
I'm not weighing in on whether that's true or not. That's what some people are saying.
Some people have a theory.
Theories are going. He then creates all of these AI ads.
Insane AI ads.
They're like obviously slop. Like he's not trying to hide it. He's not.
Wait, what is their slop trait? Like, are they just
like
overly
Los
dramatic?
Angeles burning.
Oh, okay.
Like that type of thing, right? Like,
yeah. I mean, it's like
Skid Row.
This is crazy.
Like they're just like they're ridiculous.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they're like they have taken over the time. I'm sure also if you live in California, even more so. Like it's a discourse that's happening because he's running in California. But okay, that's a really good one. Did you see any of the AI fruit dating show Love Island AI fruit?
No, I have not.
Well,
I've seen many of these.
Okay.
Yeah.
Really bad. Honestly, horrible, but unable to release me from the grip of watching it. Which scares me because I'm like, oh man. It's the same thing as like reality TV, I think, where you're like, this is bad for my brain, this is bad for society. Am I going to sit down and watch 12 hours of it? Maybe. And like that's what happens. And I think maybe with the ability to create an ending amount of content, maybe we'll all have a little bit more, thoughtfulness about what we're consuming. That's useful. That's like a hopeful take, I guess.
I do think with the AI fruit videos, so it's basically just like generated videos of fruit doing like having crazy drama, basically. And I think like the badness of the visuals highlights the quality of the plot. I think oftentimes like the plot is so absurd that it's almost good that you aren't fixated on the visuals.
I see.
So like
Cool
in a
take.
way, the slop is like illuminating the sleigh. So maybe, I don't know, maybe we'll see more of that. Maybe it will help our curatorial efforts to have more slop.
Nice.
Yeah, because then we'll have to ask ourselves, why is this slop so popular? And then we'll figure out some of it maybe isn't slop.
I will say there's like some artists who are intentionally making slop.
Yeah.
And it's fun.
Yeah.
Right? So that's different, right? If you have like intentionality in it, but like, you know, when you're like, oh my gosh, I can be a filmmaker now. And then you're pumping out this stuff.
It's the same thing that happened like with abstract art, where it's like, oh, I'm going to be intentionally obtuse about this thing to like highlight the medium or highlight the process or whatever. Okay, so you're in New York this week because Luma is supporting the Artist and the Machine Creative Summit. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, can you tell us a little bit about what that is? And
yeah, so it's like one of these like mini conferences about like 400 to 500 people. I guess it's kind of large, but it used to be like 200 to 300. It's bringing together AI creators, brands, agencies, and then like technology companies.
Cool.
So, you know, a lot of talks, workshops. So it's actually pretty heavily workshop induced. So
okay. Oh,
it
that's
gets
awesome.
people to like learn in real time from the creators themselves.
Okay.
And so we have a workshop in like an hour. So
okay, nice. Thanks for making it
yeah,
here.
of course. No, glad to be here. But yeah, highly recommend. It's a good place to be.
Cool. And what are some of the things that you're seeing either from the summit or just in the work that you're doing that you found like really inspiring and inspirational and I don't know, differentiated, I guess, across using some of these tools? Yeah,
definitely. I mean, so I think it's like when the artists learn how to use them, there's like an unlock of like a creative mode that kind of like allows, because, you know, a lot of VFX artists are saying like, I'd spend half my time like rendering and compositing.
And really quick, FX artists are like animators?
Yeah, VFX
Okay.
artists. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, animators, working on CGI.
Okay.
And so like these tools are unlocking them to actually just focus on the creative.
Okay.
We Robert Rodriguez, we did a thing with him down in South by Southwest, which we call South by AI. People hated it. Or the naming convention.
Yeah.
But people love to talk.
Yeah.
And Robert, grew up as an illustrator and doing an editorial piece, daily cartoons. And, he's not a guy you can buy.
Yeah.
Like, he's just like his own, right? Rebel without a crew. And hearing him talk about how now taking his illustrations where, he's like, I'm not a savant. He's like, I'm a solid drawer, sort of drawing these things but could never animate them. And every time he passed off the animation team, they always took away the integrity that he wanted within the pieces. And so hearing him talk about now how he can actually do that.
Yeah.
And so it's just like someone who's a drawer can now like visualize their pieces.
That's cool.
John Irwin, we just did a partnership with him in AWS, which basically he's trying to pawn this whole virtual production or hybrid production mode where they're using a virtual production screen like the Mandalorian.
Okay.
And then they're using our technology to do the performance capture. And so what that basically means is not having to put all the dots on you to do an avatar. So now I can just like fill me all here and switch your, outfits, hair, entire background.
Whoa.
And so the fact that, to do each scene is quite significant. And then on top of that, when you're doing it with a green screen, like there's no environment around you. So as an actor, there's kind of like a loss there in like what's going on.
Totally.
And so he was saying what was fascinating about it, he did not expect, was that he spent about 30% more time with the actors on the performances.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And so just focusing on that piece of it, which you would never think that AI is actually bringing to the table.
Yeah, totally. That's really interesting. Are you using these tools?
Yes, I have to,
What are you up to? Like, what are you tinkering with at the moment?
I mean, I do a lot of my tennis stuff for the club, which is pretty fun.
So wait, tell us about your club.
Yeah, Mission Athletic Club. It's a volunteer-ran nonprofit in San Francisco. Right, trying to build civic wellness. What does that mean? And it's bringing together people from all different backgrounds, creating accessible free tennis, which is typically not. It's typically a country club sport.
We need that here so bad. It's so hard to get a court here.
Yes.
It's actually very annoying.
I've tried.
If you can expand that to New York, I would really appreciate it.
Bi-coastal,
I was literally like walking by one of the courts and I just had this. I was like, wow, what if I became like the tennis czar?
Yeah.
I think you should.
And so we basically do free programming. It's around 3,000 members now in the past 2.5 years. And we basically, everyone's volunteer.
Okay, cool.
I'm the executive director, non-paid. No one's paid. But the way the club runs,
the love of the game.
Yeah, it's for the love of the game.
For the court time.
Basically started it. Exactly. Basically started because I wanted to play more tennis.
Yeah.
And then like someone was like, what do we call this thing one day? And I was like, all right, let me actually think about that. My background's in like creating brands. So I was like, all right, like if I had to do something, been in a bunch of different communities, and I was like, all right, there's an opportunity to shape a community in which I think would be fun and exciting, but also just bring value to the community. And so, Mission Athletic Club, it's about building civic wellness.
Cool.
And so
all my coolest friends in San Francisco were mutuals with your club. So I was like, oh, okay, this is cool. This is a cool thing going on.
Shout outs.
Julie Rosenberg. I don't know. We'll talk about it.
All right, cool.
And then, so what are you using the tools for the club? Like you're making graphics or like what? How are you using
it's
them
mostly like pre-production stuff, like specking out, we're doing a new drop soon.
Okay.
Little basketball, something like doing like a basketball soccer jersey drop.
Okay, cool.
For our tennis
fun.
jerseys.
Okay. And you designed that in Luma?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so mostly specking it out.
Okay.
You could definitely do more. Obviously for work, I'm just like constantly like testing the limits. So we have a new video model coming out in a couple of weeks. And so I'm just like, we're coming with use cases. We're like going in a in a lot, shooting a bunch of templates for it, column plates.
Okay.
And then just testing the model
nice.
with our whole team. So
okay.
A lot of for me stress testing versus like building things out because I wish I had more time to do that.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But the forward deployed creators mostly do this.
Okay.
And so
cool. That's awesome. Well, I genuinely am so impressed with Luma. I mean, it's no small business. You guys raised like $900 million. Like it's an incredible product. And part of why we wanted to have you on is I think that there's this major sort of discourse around tools, either taking jobs or whatever. And this technology like basically removing creatives. And I think that there's a different story to tell. And I think that the work that you were doing is very much a part of that. So I'm so glad you could come on and talk to us about it. And enjoy the rest of the summit. I hope your guys' workshop goes great.
Yeah, definitely. Let me know if you want to stop by.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I do. I will.
Yeah, for sure. You'll get a text from both of us.
All right, awesome.
Okay, thanks so much,
All right,
Prince.
cool.
Great to have you on.
Pleasure.
Yeah, thanks.
Thanks so much. Bye. See you later. Okay, we have one more guest, but before we do that, we're going to talk a little bit about a show that we're working on here at Boys Club.
Oh, I was going to say, what show are we talking about? But now I know.
Now you
okay,
know.
got it.
Okay, Show Me Your Stack is Boys Club's network show. It is about people's digital stack. And before we get into episode 2, we are working with Vercel on this show, and we love Vercel. Vercel is organically coming up in every single episode, and that's real. I'm not lying to you. That's
they just do so much. They're at the bottom. Well, not the bottom, but they're so close to the bottom of the stack. Oh, and now the top. Yeah,
Both.
They're everywhere. Okay.
So I'm going to tell you a little bit about Vercel. If you are a startup building with agents, look no further than Vercel. Their agentic infrastructure gives you and your agents everything you need to ship. And if you're supported by one of their hundreds of VCs or accelerator partners, you have access to exclusive discounts and benefits. Deploy faster, scale globally, and ship world-class AI products. Check out the platform that thousands of companies use from day zero to IPO at vercel.com/startups. And there's a link in the chat. Also, you clocked me earlier when I was rehearsing my ad read, and you said, that's not backslash, that's slash. And so I stand corrected.
Yeah, it's really important to know the distinction between a backslash and a slash. It's like really important.
I will say you had to Google it, so to confirm.
Yeah, I mean, we learned together. That's what it's all about.
Exactly. We're learning in community. Okay, so this episode of Show Me Your Stack is with a guy named Farza, who has actually been like blowing up on the internet. He started a tool called Clicky, and it's amazing. And like Instagram is liking it, which Instagram hates technology.
Yeah, it's hard to get Instagram to like something.
Exactly. So I feel so excited that Jules, who is the host of this, got to interview him and genuinely was inspired by this episode. So we're going to play a little clip from it so people could get a sense of vibe. And then we'll be right back.
So that was entirely built with Cloud Code.
I don't even know how to code in Swift. I built this thing that's now being used by thousands of people every single day. This is Clicky. It's this cute little AI buddy that lives next to your cursor and can teach you anything in real time.
So you don't even know how to review the code base?
I don't. But that being said, I've been an engineer building products since I was 18.
What was the process of actually making Clicky?
Honestly, at this point, I just tell Claude to just do whatever I want it to do. I'll open up a terminal. In this case, I'm using Warp. For Clicky, I literally just said, I want to make a desktop app on my Mac where my cursor is followed by another buddy that's a smaller blue triangle. It worked for 6 minutes. I had it. And then from there, I just keep building on top of it. I just keep making it more and more complex. Now it's like, okay, now when I hold a hotkey, I want it to hear me, and I wanted to repeat what I said. Okay, great, now that's done. It's like step by step. But yeah, this landing page was also like just so easy. Like usually it's such a pain for me to spin up a landing page. Now I could just be like, make me a landing page for Clicky. And what I'll often do is I'll link it my actual app because it has all the code, right?
Yeah.
So I'll literally just say, let's just pretend here's the code base. Go read it and make a sick LP. That's it. This is actually what it built.
One shot?
One shot, yeah, I barely changed this. I just said I want one page, black and white. There's a double cursor here. Yeah, because there's people who don't have it.
Clicky has a Clicky now.
As a child.
Okay. You saw the episode.
I did.
What do you think?
I thought it was amazing, inspirational. I loved, this might be kind of a spoiler, but I feel like is that okay if I give a little bit of a spoiler?
Okay.
He does this thing where he really does a self-reveal, like documents a lot of things and then hands them over to an LLM and like just allows it to organize all of it and like architect all of it. And I love that. I'm like obsessed with that. I think a lot of people are scared of that. And it was cool to see someone actually do it and like how it benefited him.
Yeah. In his process. Yeah. I was actually really shocked by that because he's obviously like a deep technologist, and my exposure often to people who are deeply technical is that they are really concerned with privacy, very concerned with their data, and which I think is all fair. But I feel like this was a peek behind the curtain on someone who has pretty actively decided to trust these tools and what he is able to do with the information, like with how well known sort of his agent is with his creative process, with the things that he's interested in, with like callbacks on things that he's documented, is really incredible. And anyway, I genuinely was inspired by this episode. I think it's incredible to see somebody who is just like creating and that creative process being really like laid out in front of viewers. So the episode is live tomorrow on YouTube, on the Boys Club World YouTube.
Hit the bell. Subscribe and then hit the bell.
Hit the bell. Julia Rosenberg, who's the host, does a great job interviewing him, and it's a really fun one. So
yeah, I think this one also, the stack feels accessible too. Like I feel like it feels actionable. Like I see him do something and I go, oh, I could literally go set that up on my laptop in like 2 minutes.
Yes.
And just experiment with it and figure it out.
I agree.
Yeah, because some people, as you were kind of saying, are doing like really gigabrain stuff where that's kind of intimidating to me. I didn't feel like that was so much the case with this episode.
Totally.
Yeah.
We weren't in terminal.
Yeah.
I don't
like
remember
a little bit. There's maybe a few shots of the terminal, but you know,
terminal.
we're showing human readable text. We're not doing like a bunch of crazy stuff.
You're right. Okay. That is Show Me Your Stack and Vercel. We again love Vercel. Okay. The last segment of the show, I'm gonna
peace and blessings.
Say farewell to you again. And we are going to transition into a new segment here at Boys Club called Cash Tips in partnership with Polygon. And we're going to have a special guest come up for our first episode. Hi, how's it going? Come on in. Good. Nice to see you in person. Finally. Okay. We'll get you set up here and then get chatting. So Sahil Goswami is the president and fintech banking and digital assets at Dart Bank.
Yep.
You founded the firm's fintech business from scratch and co-authored one of the first compliant digital asset banking frameworks in the US, which is incredible. And you guys serve a variety of very legitimate clients like Kraken, OKX, Crypto.com, just to name a few. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's been a crazy journey to say the least.
I truly can't imagine. And we had such a fun conversation earlier this week. And I'm so excited to talk about sort of like the future of money and your perspective on it. I want to start with your background because I think it gives some really helpful context. So you started your career managing a $13 billion book made up of subprime mortgages post 2028 financial crisis, which I find fascinating. Can you just walk us through the path from that job to what brought you to digital assets?
It was a journey. So it's interesting to come out of school and then start managing bonds that are leftovers from banks that went under. So very big, short type of material. We were looking at Lehman, Bear Stearns paper. So the subprime mortgages you see in the movie were all bundled up and a lot went under, but a lot came back and a lot performed. People paid their mortgages. And so I got to see what that was like and invest in that paper. I had the opportunity to go upstate and look at the actual loan files that backed a lot of these mortgages. These were originated in 2006, 2007. So not everything was digital. You get to see letters from folks who are trying to save their home, who are trying to make sure their home is accounted for. There was a lot of title fraud occurring. And I thought to myself, there's got to be a better way to have done this. Like there really
I can't believe it's like physical paperwork around a loan. Like that's wild. No digitization of it really.
No, not really. It was I mean, there were cases of banks trying to seize homes that had already been paid off and vice versa.
Wow.
Or mortgages that were just lost.
Okay.
So folks ended up with a free home because everything was a paper record.
Okay. Wow. Crazy.
But one of my bosses thought of it as a good learning experience to send me up there. And it was just fascinating in that you get to see what the world was like then and where I think it should have gone. And at that time, the idea of putting things on chain was starting to really come into vogue. And I thought that's the direction I want to head in. So I started to take the steps of going from a subprime MBS analyst to how do I end up in this space?
Okay. And you ended up you had a job in between, but you ended up at Dart Bank.
Yep.
And Dart Bank is a community bank. It's been around for 100 years. It's been focused on mortgages, but really seems like it's been sort of at the front of innovation in a few different categories, crypto being one of them. Can you tell us if sort of being a part of like a community bank or a smaller bank, maybe not like a JP Morgan or something, makes you guys more nimble and more able to sort of move to innovation into the front lines of things?
I love watching The Office, and my best analogy is Dart is Dunder Mifflin in a world of staples. So
Nice.
at the end of the day, you're going to be able to find a lot of banks participating in the space.
Yeah.
But being able to pick up the phone, call someone, get what you need done, move quickly enough to match the pace of innovation in this space. Finding a bank that can do that has been tough. And that's why we've been able to have some of the core clients that we've had. Kraken, Crypto.com, OKX, to name a few. And we've had a long relationship. We've been able to build with them, build alongside them. And I think being nimble in banking is kind of an oxymoron. It's tough. We do our best.
Nice. Okay. I want to get into the Genius Act clarity. This is a big day. Over the course of the last year, 2 major pieces of legislation that have pointed to regulatory clarity in the US around crypto. Today's a big day. The Senate Banking Committee dropped the Clarity Act draft on Monday, and they are marking it up this morning, Thursday morning, while we're actually on this stream. So for a treasurer or a CFO listening, what changes for them in the next 48 hours if it clears the committee?
So it cleared committee as of 2 minutes ago.
Oh, breaking news.
We're through committee with bipartisan support.
Okay.
So I think clarity passes. And I think there's no doubt in my mind that if you're a regulated financial institution, you need to be paying attention to what comes out in terms of final language and where your firm plays.
Okay.
And I think that's true for firms that are big, firms that are small. You've had a lot of hesitancy around headline risk in this space with a lot of CFOs, a lot of C-suites just thinking and saying, hey, this space ebbs and flows, but the tech doesn't. It's trying to ignore the PC because you're happy with your IBM.
Okay.
And I think that's really where we're headed. So I think it's imperative for everyone to have a strategy in place for when this does pass and what that means for your firm.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow. Breaking news. Thanks for bringing it.
Of course.
Thanks for bringing it. And my understanding of the bill, and I just want to get your perspective to make sure that I have the right viewpoint of it, is that it's basically providing clarity on the classification of digital assets and which enforcement body oversees them. So SEC versus CFTC, is that part of it?
Yeah, that's part of it.
Okay. And then the other part of it is really about yield, right?
Yes,
okay.
right.
Can you talk a little bit about the yield component?
So the yield is a bigger fight in that you have a lot of friction between traditional banks that view deposits as a means to serve their broader community. The idea being that if I, as a client, have, as an institution, as a business, have $1 million sitting at a bank account to help fund my business, that bank is going to engage in fractional reserves. Part of that money is available at a bank, but they use that to lend, to fund other operations, and to give back to the community. Stablecoins have historically paid yield in that the stables and the underlying assets that back those stables are invested into T-bills, invested into AAA rated assets or something along those lines. So the fight has been, how do you reconcile the existence of stables as they are today and the fact that they pay yield with the fact that banks may be losing deposits as retail and or institutional customers keep their cash in stables as opposed to in banks?
Okay.
That means a lot less lending. That means a lot less liquidity. And I think that fight is a justified fight, but I don't see it panning out the way a lot of the space thinks.
Okay. How do you see it panning out?
I think yield has a very important role to play within banking. I don't see banking giving that up all that easily. And I view myself as that middle of the Venn diagram guy, someone who's been in the TradFi side, who's been in banking, understands the crypto space. And I think stables as they are today have been a stopgap between what was an unregulated industry that didn't have access to good banking to what things look like 2 years from now when every bank has a core digital asset strategy. And so I think sticking with the status quo isn't always the best approach. And I think that's the friction we're seeing playing out.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so bankers, builders, institutions, they're bracing for clarity to pass.
No pun intended. Yep.
And they are calling you today, this afternoon.
Yep.
What are they asking you?
They want to understand what the bank might be able to do to offset a potential loss in yield if stables are no longer paying.
Okay.
Does that mean we are partnering with, and I think you're starting to see that theme with a lot of large asset managers launching tokenized money market funds that are entering the news in the past week. I think we saw something with Kraken and Franklin, I believe. One of my old companies, New York Life, is getting into the game. You have a lot of platforms that are just doing what they can to build that bridge.
Yeah.
And I think it's understanding what bridges are currently available, what's open, what's under construction, and what needs to be built.
Yeah. Do you feel like you have a good sense for that?
I try. I think there's a lot of informal calls around how to build.
Yeah.
And I think it's, the reality is there are not that many folks who straddle both lines in the space.
Yeah, totally.
So it is a small community. And I think being in crypto, it's very easy to think, wow, it's a large industry, it's a large space. But having been in the space for a few years now, you end up knowing someone who knows someone. You're 2 degrees, 3 max removed from any conversation you need to have. And it's been a welcoming space. So folks are happy to talk to each other and engage and try to understand, hey, what do I have to do to be successful here?
I totally agree. Okay, so I want to talk about your perspective of stablecoins and how that relates to sort of the future of money currently and in the next 5-10 years. For those who are listening who maybe don't know, the Genius Act was signed into law last year by President Trump. Can you just give us a 101 on the Genius Act as a way to sort of paint the picture of why stablecoins are in sort of the position they are today?
Genius was a good first step of giving regulatory clarity, again, no pun intended, to the space. I think the space had been clamoring for something. And the idea was something is still better than nothing. And if we can get a bill together that gives us some guidelines on where we can operate, get banks comfortable with banking the space, that might be good enough. The reality is it's never good enough. You do need additional clarity, and you need to be able to see, you need to be able to make sure that compliance and risks teams at regulated institutions feel like they have the air cover to enter a space that has historically drawn a lot of scrutiny, a lot of criticism, a lot of headline risk from regulators as well as just market risk alike. We've seen a ton of, we've seen a good number of fraudulent incidents. We think about what happened with FTX. We think about various industry officials that have gone to prison. It's not necessarily that it hasn't been rife with a lot of missteps. So that gives a lot of boards and a lot of those who have a duty to care around their organizations pause. So I think Genius was that first step, and it made sense that it passed. It made sense you can get something on the books. And that's what's given a lot of these regulated institutions the air cover to build what they have over the past year. I don't think we would see this growth if Genius hadn't passed. So there are a lot of folks out there that say, well, we should have just waited until you had one big bill. But I don't think that would have helped anyone.
Yeah. And I also think so much is revealed in the work.
Yep.
Like you have some clarity, you do some stuff, and then there's a whole new set of questions that come up. And I think it's much more useful to sort of keep putting one foot in front of the other as opposed to waiting for the rules of everything, because that will, I don't think, ever really happen in the way that people anticipate. Okay, so I want to get to agentic payments because I think there's a lot to talk about there. But before we do that, so you're from institutions that historically have been really skeptical about, I would say, crypto, maybe not DART specifically, but I think as a whole. What actually changed internally? When did you experience the conversation of this is a crypto thing to this is a treasury and payments infrastructure thing around stables? And how are institutions actually holding stablecoins today? Like, what does that look like?
So the shift in perspective around this is a piece of tech infrastructure that can be used has been most pronounced over the past 12 months. I'd say when we entered the space, when DART entered the space, it was coming off the heels of Silvergate Signature going under. You had the SVB restructuring.
you had a lot of displacement within crypto banking. You had some exchanges that were struggling to find rails for people to move money on and off. So to go from that in March of 23 to June of 24, you still have a lot of regulatory scrutiny. The banks have closed, and you're trying to launch a new program. To a year later, Genius passes. Now, a year later, we're going to see Clarity pass. There's a lot of change occurring. So the tech perspective and the prospects of where that could go has always been there. But I'd say the most pronounced change has been the past 12 months. And in terms of where folks are keeping their stables and how they're thinking about what payments may look like, they're working with the core exchanges. The exchanges are expanding their pie. And they are working hard to say, hey, we're not just someone you go to for a spot exchange. You can trade equities. You can think about derivatives, the perps, prediction markets. We are happy to offer custody. We're going to enter the banking space overall, get an OCC charter, get a trust charter. So that expansiveness makes sense in a space like ours. It also reflects what happens in a down market. In a down market, you have businesses that are not necessarily seeing the same revenue they had. So as opposed to just trying to make more from the existing pie, they will expand the pie. And that's what we're seeing a lot of these platforms do.
Yeah. And I think that makes a ton of sense. And I also think seeing other companies that I think is really healthy, thinking about the full stack of sort of how they're supporting their clients and customers, and that across crypto, now there being enough that has been built and enough infrastructure that that's actually possible. Instead of having this fragmented, like, okay, some things are on chain and some things aren't, like that sort of experience of it. Okay. So where do you think the future of money and payments is headed?
Programmability. I think the idea is as your dollar comes in, it should work for you without too much intervention. There were a lot of platforms that came about post 2010 that were focused on the idea of set and forget. And I think that is one of the best ways to build wealth is, hey, your money comes in, you have automatic rules around how to deploy it. That game has changed in the era of agents and what we've been able to see over the past year around how AI can help. So I think we're going to see more and more of that just personalized financial advice, financial tooling that would have required you to work with a lot of third-party platforms in the past that are just native to an individual person that they can have designed around their spending habits, that they can ingest their monthly bank statements into to best understand how should I deploy my money? What does this mean for me? How does this align with my interests? And I think that kind of personalization is the biggest takeaway that we'll look back in 10 years on to say, hey, AI has delivered the personalization and that's what's going to allow people to build the way they want to.
Wow. I love that. I love that as a way of thinking about individual wealth creation. And my own experience of sort of like looking at my income and my investments and trying the best I can to navigate like what are good decisions to be making based on my lifestyle, my values, and the things that I want for my future. And that feeling like so hard and overwhelming. And there being some, like, okay, some financial advisors that might work with me, but like it's a really daunting task. And I love the idea that that version of the future, the way that you see it, is, I think, really helping people who are maybe not super financially literate being able to build wealth. And that, I love that answer, as opposed to like, we're just going to have bots who are like doing all of our shopping for us. Like that's a very, I think, hopeful vision of the future, which I really appreciate. Okay. Talking about sort of programmability as the answer of the future of money, how do you see agents and stablecoins sort of working in tandem together?
I think stables are the natural answer to how do agents conduct payments scalably. That being said, Visa, MasterCard, the networks have done a very good job over the past few years of future-proofing their business, right? Those two networks are built on the idea that we have a large network, that network effect delivers value. As long as we continue to build within the network and create the right products, we're able to deliver a lot faster. So as an example, Visa's done a good job with integrating stables into how their merchants can conduct payments. We've seen stablecoin-backed cards through both Visa and MasterCard. That's great. And I think that's phenomenal to see incumbents play in the space. But if I think about at a personal level, at a non-custodial level, at a custodial level, agents are going to be conducting a lot for us. And in order to do any real transactions, make any real movements happen, payments will have to be part of that process.
Yeah.
And I think stables make it really easy. It's the idea that if I receive my paycheck every 2 weeks, I imagine a world in which you get it every day. You don't have to worry about the friction associated with payroll and having to disperse to a bank. That a portion will sit in stables for disbursement because folks will be able to enjoy being able to get their money when they're owed it. And that protection layer that exists through the networks will be needed a lot less because there are ways to mitigate fraud when it comes to what the agents can do and how they can play against fraudsters and in favor of making sure that the money you receive is money that's owed to you and you don't have to worry about chargebacks, et cetera. That's what creates a lot of the friction in payments today.
Okay. How does a deeply regulated bank like you guys play at the edge of what's possible? Like, what does a sandbox look like for a business like Dart? So
I'm fortunate in that Dart's management and our board understands that being future-proofing is important. We did the first auto loan in the US way back when. We've transitioned as a bank that was focused on farmers for a long time to eventually cannabis, and then leveraging that cannabis skill set to be focused on crypto and broader fintech. I think being able to work with our existing clients, our existing clients love the idea of being able to leverage agents for payments, but there aren't that many banks out there. I can think of 2 that are dabbling in the space. So we work with the use cases they have in mind. We design around that and test and test in production, test with small amounts, but do so in a regulated way where we're not really tripping any wires. And I think that goes a long way. You have to, it's a crawl, walk, run approach. And that's the only way to be successful when you're dealing with new tech.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. What's the thing that people are not talking about or not thinking about when it comes to first stablecoins and then second agentic payments?
I think the idea that stables what stables look like 2 years from now will be dramatically different than what they look like today. And I think that means, hey, are you able to trade fractionalized tokenized money market funds in the same way you would a stable? Does that mean a stable is just invested into one of those funds? I think we've really been focused on, hey, this is a vehicle that solves for X issue. What if there are other products out there that might be better than what stables offer that can solve for the same issue? And I think that migration is something for folks to think about. I think beyond that, on the agent side and where tech is going, there is a gap that's widening with a lot of regulated institutions that are not paying enough attention to where the tech is headed, where the consumer is headed. And I think bridging that gap will become more and more important. To that end, there's going to be a lot of M&A that dictates that over time.
Interesting. Cool. Yeah. Okay. We're at time. The last part of the segment is 1 minute to tell us your best cash tip.
Sure.
So you can think about it. I'm going to pull up my, my timer here. And are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, let's go.
So I think programmability is important, and folks need to understand that the way you can use your money and the way we were taught to use our money growing up is dramatically different than what exists today, and what exists over the past 6 months with agents. I'd implore people to spend the time to download a localized model, get familiar with AI, and try and understand what you could do differently around how you deploy your money, how you build your wealth, and how you think about what your spend looks like and what your investments look like over time. If you can do that, you are going to be a lot more in touch than what any financial advisor could do for you, just because it means it's something native that can be done every single day. And I think that goes a long way in educating folks, no matter what your education may be as it relates to financial investments.
Wow. Great. With 9 seconds left.
Perfect.
I love that answer. I'm honestly that's what I'm doing tonight. I'm going to get started on some financial planning using an agent. Well, thank you so much
of course
for coming on. This was honestly so enjoyed talking to you about all of these topics. And I think you have a really rooted perspective on so much of this, but also very forward thinking. So Sahil, thank you for coming on Cash Tips.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, that is Boys Club Live. That's our show for this week. Tune in tomorrow on our YouTube for the second episode of Show Me Your Stack. And we will see you next week.